Hey guys, we're going to talk about dimensional analysis today. Dimensional analysis sounds like something really big and scary, but really what we're talking about is we're talking about conversion, converting one thing to another. So you could have cups that you can convert to gallons, you have seconds, then you can convert to years. You're trying to determine a unit rate, basically. Remind yourself of what unit rate means. Answer the question that pops up right now. So when you answered the question for unit rate, you should have said something to the effect of it's related to slope, it's a rate of change, it has a denominator of 1 always. So keeping that in mind, check out this first problem. How many seconds are in a day? Well, what do we know about seconds, first of all? We're going to write these as fractions as we think of them. I draw one big fraction bar, and then I divide it. These dividers represent multiplication symbols. Now, I don't know how many I'm going to need, but for right now, I'm just drawing in 2. We may use them, we may not. So thinking about that, we're talking about seconds. Well, what do we know about seconds? Well, I know that there's 60 of them in a minute. Okay? Now, as we do this, we're trying to match up units. And what we should end up with, we want seconds per day. So that means we're going to be left with seconds per day. So seconds should probably be on the top, and day should be on the bottom. So going with that method, if we want only seconds and days to be our units, we're going to need minutes to cancel out. So we know that they'll cancel out if there's a minute on top and a minute on bottom. So what do we know about minutes that could relate to days? Well, to get from minutes to days, I'm going to need some hours probably. And I know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. So we got 60 seconds in 1 minute, 60 minutes in 1 hour. So now we're going to talk about, well, how many hours, what do we know about hours? We know there are 24 hours in 1 day. Now remember, our goal was to get seconds and days as our units. Check this out. We have minutes. Those will kill off and cancel. We have hours. Those cancel out. Are we left with seconds and days? Yes. Now remember, I told you that these bars in between represent our multiplication signs. So we're going to multiply 60 and 60 together, and 24 with the product of 60 and 60. Do that real quick. You should get 86,400, and the unit on that is going to be seconds because it is the unit in the denominator, or the numerator, excuse me. There are 86,400 seconds. Now, these represent multiplication again down here on the bottom, so we're going to say 1 times 1 times 1, which will give us 1 day. So that means there are 86,400 seconds per day. So again, all you're doing is converting. We now have the unit rate for the number of seconds per day. Continuing on. How many hours are there in a year? Take a minute, figure it out, enter your answer. See what you can do with this. Okay, so you've got 24 hours in 1 day, and you have 365 days per year. So doing that multiplication and division, you're going to find out that you get 8,760. Now, did our units cancel? Let's see, we wanted to end up with hours and years. Our days canceled off, and so we do have hours and years. So there are 8,760 hours per year, because 1 times 1 is 1. All right, You learned gallon man in 5th or 6th grade, or maybe even earlier than that. So here you need to think about how many cups are there in 1 gallon. So you're starting off with cups, and there are 2 cups in 1 pint. Okay, so that means I got to clear out pints. Well, I know there are 2 pints in 1 quart. And then let's see. For a quart, you can have 4 quarts in 1 gallon. Have we achieved cups in every gallon? I think we have. Our cups, oops, we don't want cups to cancel out. Our pints have canceled out, our quarts have canceled out, and we're left with cups in the numerator and gallons in the denominator. So all we have to do is our multiplication. So we'd have 2 times 2 times 4. That looks like 16 cups. 1 times 1 times 1 is a gallon. And again, you may have recalled that from memory. However, that's what you do to get from cups to gallons. It's the mathematical process. It's more than memorization. So now you can convert one to another and know what's going on in between. All right, I want you to see what you can do with this problem. Your car's gas tank holds 18.6 gallons and is 1/4 full. Your car gets 16 miles to the gallon. You see a sign saying, next gas, 73 miles. Your often wrong brother who is driving is sure you'll make it without running out of gas. You're not so sure. You need to check really quick. All right, see what you can do with the math and see what you can come up with. We'll see if we get the same answer. So here's what I did. I said, okay, I've got 18.6 gallons of gas that my tank will hold. But that's not how much I actually have. I actually have 1/4 of that. So I got 18.6 gallons, but I have 1/4 of that. So if I divide that by 4, I'm going to get 4.65 gallons of gas. We got to see if that'll last. So keeping that in mind, what I decided to do is, looking at this, I want to know if I can go 73 miles. My car gets 16 miles per gallon. So, if I take 16 miles for every 1 gallon of gas and multiply it by 4.65 gallons, I'm going to find out if I can go that far. And my units are going to work out so that I find out how many miles I can actually go. So 4.65 times 16 will give me 74.4 miles. So will I actually make it to the next gas station? Yes. We have enough gas to make it to the gas station. However, we're going to be cutting it pretty close. You should have stopped sooner.